Coming up on the Paper Talk today, it's all been happening. Ahmad has upset everyone with a social media post. Marcus Rashford has been turning up late at Barcelona. And also, where would we be without yet another Carlos Baleba story? Let's get into it. Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford, and despite it being sunny, it's pretty cold, so you might even need your parkers. Loads of stories to get through, so we will crack on. Before we do, though, make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. We want to get to 850,000 subscribers, and with your support, we will get there. Manchester United won at the weekend. What a time to be alive. The 2-1 victory over Chelsea, giving Ruben Amorim a much-needed win, a much-needed bit of relief and a bit of encouragement as well. And I know, look, you can go, oh, well, Chelsea down 10 men or whatever, but let's just be positive for once. Let's have a bit of positivity. We needed to beat Chelsea. Chelsea are a team that are going to be challenging for the Champions League spots, and we beat them, and we played well. So I'm not going to moan too much. I know there was parts of the game you might criticise, but on overall, get my words out, I'm happy. So let's be happy. Some people who aren't happy are those that were following or are following Ahmad on Instagram. He posted a picture of himself and Alejandro Garnacho sort of shirt swapping, and it didn't go down too well with the Manchester United faithful. He's got about 2.4 million followers, and a lot of them were annoyed or even angry at the post by Ahmad, and he's since deleted all his Instagram posts. He's still got his account, but he's deleted all his Instagram posts because of the backlash he got from posting a picture of him and Garnacho holding each other's shirts. Now, look, I get it. Garnacho got a right reception here, and I don't mean a good one. His name was getting chanted with a few comments that I won't get into. I'm sure you can guess the gist. Very similar to the chant we had from Carlos Tevez many years ago. Those of you may remember that one. So Garnacho was getting a lot of grief. There's a lot of anger from United fans. There was a bit of debate going on last week. Some of the people were asking me, like, do you think he'll get a good reception? Do you think the fans might be sort of warm to him? Well, the answer was no, they weren't. The fans were fuming with him, and he got a lot of stick. Even at the end where he almost sort of, I don't know if he's trying to hide because it was raining, but he had his hood up, he had his sort of coat zipped up and all the rest of it, but people could still tell it was him from his boots, for starters. I think he's got pink boots. So he was getting grief throughout the game, and certainly when he was warming up and all the rest of it, and he didn't get on. He didn't get onto the pitch, of course, but that social media post did annoy a lot of people. I saw Garnacho talking to Ahmad during the game or before and after the game. I saw him hugging Manu when he walked down the touchline. He's obviously got a good relationship with a lot of people here. I get it. I don't expect him to fall out with everyone just because he's left. And I don't expect all Manchester United players to have fallen out with him once he left. Players leave clubs. It happens. And I'm sure a lot of them have known him for many years, especially you look at someone like Manu. They've probably known each other since they were kids. However, there is a time and a place for posting pictures on social media. Ahmad, as some people have commented or did comment on the post when it's up, should have read the room a little bit better. So I understand why people might be annoyed. I'm a bit too long in the tooth to care, I'll be honest with you. I'm not that bothered. And I hope Ahmad isn't too rattled by it all, because I don't want him getting all upset or disgruntled, because it can just lead one way, can't it? Listen, it was a mistake to post that. Let's just move on, but I wouldn't be deleting all your Instagram posts. You don't need to do that, son. You can carry on posting on Instagram, but that's another story for a different day. Talking of former players, well, actually, a player that's still technically a United player, but is playing elsewhere, Marcus Rashford has been doing some Marcus Rashford things since he's been at Barcelona. Last week against Newcastle, he scored 2 goals, one of them a bit of a worldie. This week, or not this week, because it's last week again, this weekend, or the weekend just gone, he was dropped to the bench because he was late for a team meeting. We've been here before, haven't we? Marcus, come on, fix up. You've got an opportunity here. Whether you like or rate Marcus Rashford or not, you would want Marcus Rashford to get a permanent move to Barcelona, and he can do that if he turns up and performs like he did against Newcastle. However, if he's late for meetings, if he's getting dropped, if there's disciplinary issues, he ain't going to get a permanent move. He's going to end up back at Old Trafford. Now, Hansi Flick, who's the Barcelona manager, apparently has a strict rule: if you're late by even a minute for these meetings or this training session, you're dropped. And that's what happened with Marcus. Apparently he was 2 minutes late because he was filling in some electronic stuff when he went to the meeting. Whatever, I'm not too fussed. It's all across all the papers. You'll have seen it everywhere. You've seen it on social media. He did come off the bench, I think, for the game against Getafe, and I think he got an assist for Olmo. So it's not all doom and gloom, but you do worry. These stories can't start coming out, and these little things. Marcus Rashford basically should be doing everything he can to be the consummate professional. He shouldn't be late for anything. He should be turning up on time. He should be early. He should be showing Barcelona, the fans, the manager, everyone involved with Barcelona, that he is the guy that is dedicated to their cause and he's going to help move that club forward, and it's worth taking him on a permanent deal. Because I'd be very surprised if he does come back to Old Trafford, if he's got much of a future. Certainly not under this manager. So I think it's best for all concerned if he moves on, and the best way to do that is showing him what you're about on and off the pitch. Show that professionalism. Don't let that reputation that you have of maybe not caring as much as you should go with you to Barcelona. That's my two penneth on the issue anyway. In other news, Manchester United, you may have heard about this, have been linked with a lad called Baleba. Bit of a surprise to me, this one. I've not heard much about it. And that rumour, despite the transfer window being closed, it's still carrying on. There's still a lot of stories. I think there's been stories doing the rounds in several papers about Baleba and about his time at Brighton this season, because it's not quite going according to plan. He's not had 45 minutes. He's not had 90 minutes yet. I think he played 45 minutes, I think, at the weekend. Was it the 2-2 draw against Spurs, I want to say? Yeah, he didn't play 90 minutes. He hasn't played 90 minutes all season for Brighton. There's been some questions to the manager about Baleba. Has his head been turned? Is he not quite the player this season that he's been in previous seasons because of the links to Manchester United? And the manager's addressed that. He said that maybe that there is a little bit of that. It's only natural kind of thing. I'm paraphrasing here. But yeah, Baleba's not sort of showing us the player that we've seen previously. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not any good. He's still a very young player. He's still very good. Obviously, he's got a lot of talent, and there's a sort of strong case to be made that he would fit right into Ruben Amorim's system, and he's just the type of player we need. However, it is quite interesting what is going on this season, and I just wonder what that could mean, short and long term. Could that mean, let me get carried away for a sec. Would that mean that Brighton may even consider selling him in January if his form doesn't improve, and Manchester United had the money, which is doubtful, to go in with a decent bid in January? Potentially. The most likely scenario here is that Manchester United come back in for him in the summer. The only question is, or the sort of intrigue here is, if he continues to underperform or to not play 90 minutes, which I doubt he will because it's the start of the season, sooner or later he's going to start playing 90 minutes, does that devalue him slightly? Do United get him for a cut price? Or do United get put off? They look at it and go, well, he's not had the greatest of seasons. Why would we spend big dough on him? I don't know. It's just one to keep an eye on in it, because obviously he's been linked very heavily with us. Whatever he does now is going to be under a bit of a microscope. And the fact that he's not performing at the levels that he had done previously, I don't know. It just feels as though it adds a little bit to that, you know, sort of intrigue around the whole deal, around what's going on. And the stories are going to keep going. There's going to be loads of Baleba stories for the next sort of, well, until he signs for Manchester United or goes elsewhere, basically, because you know the nature of the beast. You look at Jadon Sancho, that was like, what, 18 months, 2 years worth of stories as soon as he was linked with us until he arrived about his transfer. Is it going to happen? What's the latest? All that jazz. So you've got that to look forward to. Just finally, I'm going to talk about Frank, the United Strand. We had him on the channel yesterday. Great chat. Go and check him out. Go and check out that chat. Check him out on the Instagram if you're not. There's a lot of, there's a video doing the rounds. We spoke to Frank about this off camera yesterday because we didn't make a big deal of it, but it was this lad who, or this man I should say, because I think lad makes him sound like he's about 12. This man who grabbed Frank at the game against Chelsea, grabbed his hair. Bit of nonsense, I'll say nonsense, it wasn't very nice. Spoke to Frank about it, he was fine, he was just a little bit like, what's going on kind of thing. And I think anyone who's seen that video will agree with it. Yeah, I don't know what the guy was doing. Bang out of order. Why are you pulling people's hairs for starters? That's the kind of thing. My daughter's 8 years old and she don't even do that, and nor should she. So I don't know what quite is going on there. It's not really a tough guy thing to do, is it, pulling someone's hair? I digress anyway. Frank's all right. Top man. Great chatting to him yesterday. Go and check that video out. It's just a bit of harmless fun. Just enjoy it. There's no need to get aggy about it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to be back later on today with the Paddock podcast. Go and check out the video with Frank. Go and check out mine and Joe's match review, because Joe came into the studio yesterday. Me and him had a chat about the Chelsea game. Bit of positivity from Joe Smith. We've missed that. Make sure as well you are checking out the merchandise. Paddock merch. There's a link in the description for that. I've been Jay Motti outside a pretty sunny Old Trafford. Thanks for watching.